Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today, we're going to have some fun because we are going to make a pop-up card, and this is the easiest technique ever. You guys are going to be able to do this with no problem at all, and it really adds some interest to your cards. Now, you guys have said to me a lot, how do you decorate the inside of your cards? And some of our illustrators have shown you beautiful ways to do that, but I don't decorate the inside of my cards all that much. So this is extra fun for me today because I'm going to be able to add this little decorative pop-up element and create a little decoration on the inside. So before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Gina K, and happy afternoon to everybody.
I wasn't ready when you went to my camera.
No,
I was a little surprised.
that happens a lot these days.
I know. I was thinking about my card and what I was going to do and what colors to use. And all of a sudden I looked down and I was on.
Yeah. Oh boy, we're still recovering here from the having the kids on set.
From the Rena and Brian episode. That was really fun. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch Tuesday night's live, check it out. Rena and Brian were on and they made some fun mandalas, but it was mostly just fun, right? Pure entertainment.
Yeah, and there was a slight disturbance in the dead space I detected.
It wasn't quite as dead.
No.
A little more lively with me back there.
It was, yes.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, you have a word of the day coming up later, right? Did
yes,
you say you
and
have one?
it's actually a word that you came up with.
Oh, you're going to use that?
So
okay,
Gina,
awesome.
Yeah, Gina K. She was just musing in the office and came up with a word of the day concept. So,
okay, so I know what you're going to do. Okay, well, I think they're going to like it. It's pretty funny anyway. All right. Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to use this. This is the You Give Me Butterflies bundle. This is our current bundle, and it is getting limited, but it is so much fun. So it has this big 6x8 stamp set. We're going to do a couple flowers. We're going to do a couple of the greetings, and we're going to color these in using the coordinating stencils. Now, you don't have to use the coordinating stencils if you don't want to. I've seen some coloring with these using Copic markers and colored pencils and Gamsol, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then we're going to be using the big die set that comes with the bundle. We're going to be cutting out some of these elements. Now, I've done lots with the flowers, but I haven't really done anything with the butterfly yet. So this is going to be a card that has flowers on the outside and butterflies on the inside. So without further ado, oh my goodness, wait, I got to move my die cutting machine. We had to do a quick camera adjustment, and my die cutting machine is always on the step stool next to me where it's close at hand, and it got moved for the adjustment, and I forgot to put it back. All right, so we're going to start with stamping a few of these images. So I'm going to get a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to put it into my MISTI. This one has a little mark on it, so I'm just going to flip it over. And I am going to stamp, let's see, let's use this flower. We'll use this big chunky flower, and then we'll use this tiny flower. So we'll have 3, because I like flowers in 3s and 5s. Now, I already have a couple of leaves done, so I'm not going to do the leaves for this because I have those, and I was digging through my scrap box, and I found a bunch of pre-cut leaves that I can use as well. And that's going to save time because we're going to be busy. And then I'm going to actually stamp 3 butterflies. And then for my greetings, I thought on the outside I would say, hello, love. And then on the inside, you give me butterflies. So I'm going to stamp You Give Me Butterflies.
Looks like
here.
Karen is all in on the Dead Space theme.
Yes. Karen, that's going to be Tom's new nickname, but only when he's in the dead space. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to stamp all of these, and then I'm going to have to stamp a couple more butterflies because we're going to make the inside of this card a little bit butterfly busy. All right. Karen, we're just teasing you. We need that kind of thing. I mean, you know, it's fun stuff. We used to say sometimes, you know, if we'd go out for a drink, instead of getting a gin and tonic, we would get a gin and tonic, because that was our my name, Gin, and Tom's name, Tomic. A gin and tonic. All right, I'm going to do this butterfly one more time because his body is a little not filled in all the way. I think this is one of the first times I'm using this butterfly, so I haven't used it very much. Okay, so we've got the one butterfly done. And then I'm going to clean this. All right.
Tomb, bomb, and comb. Go figure those words out.
Oh my gosh. I know. I feel so sorry for people who are trying to learn English, that tomb, bomb, and comb are all spelled exactly the same way. Come on. Whose idea was that? I'm surprised how our brains were able to figure all of that out. Okay, so we're going to do one more butterfly here. I'm going to have to get a separate piece of cardstock for the final butterfly. Welcome, everyone. It is great to see all of you here. Ooh, that left a mark. Let's see if this covers it. It probably will. I really didn't have to clean it, but I cleaned it because I didn't want to touch it, you know, and get ink all over my hands. And I've got to find one more. Oh, I see a piece of white scrap that's going to be the perfect size out of the corner of my eye. Hey, Mindy Egan. Good to see you here. Good to see everybody here. You guys are all so much fun. I know. It is a terrible language to try to learn if you're from somewhere else. Very difficult. Okay, so we have these images, and these are the ones that we're going to use for our card. And then I'm going to do one more. This piece here. And I know I said I was going to do that other greeting, but I think that other greeting is going to get stamped onto a shape. I'm going to put these onto a grounding shape, like an oval or something like that. That didn't work. Let's try this way. There you go. Right in the center, taking up all the cardstock, but that's okay because we can use this cardstock for other little bits and pieces. Yeah, there are so many things you can do with this bundle. It's just a happy bundle. And I think what's fun about it is butterflies, and this is a big butterfly. Butterflies are good for so many techniques. Like I really love doing bleached butterflies where you stamp the butterfly and emboss it with black embossing powder, and then you do that on colored paper, and then you bleach out all the areas with a little brush and some household bleach. I mean, there's so many big areas on this butterfly to do that technique with. I think butterflies are awesome, and they're great for, I mean, pretty much every season except winter, although I would find a way to use a butterfly in the winter. Sometimes you have to just do summer and flowers and stuff in the winter because you just are so sick of snow, right? Okay. Well, now I have my cardstock here that I'm going to put this on so we can do some ink blending. I'm just going to tape this down so it doesn't move. And I know that's probably driving somebody nuts that I did it so crooked. Let me fix it. Okay. There we go. So let's start by quickly coloring in these flowers, and the colors that I wanted to use, since I have all of these over here, and these were all done in Lucky Clover, I thought Lucky Clover would be good for one, and then Turquoise Sea and Medium Lilac. I think that's a really beautiful color combination. I think it's going to make a nice card for today. So I'm going to start with this flower. And I'm going to line that up. This is the stencil for this flower. And you don't have to tape it down, but if you feel better about it, you're worried that it's going to move, go ahead and tape it down. So I'll start with Medium Lilac. I have a lilac brush right here, purple brush. I'm going to ink that up, but I am going to just rub a little bit of that color off because I don't want it to be super, super dark. And then I'm going to color that. I'm going in one direction and then the other direction. Now, if you want to add more color to this, you can always go to the dark lilac and add a little bit of that color around the edges, and that will just give you more shading if you're interested. Let's see if we could do that. Let me find the dark lilac. Here's the dark lilac, and I have a smaller blending brush for that. Add a little dark lilac in there, just around the edges. We could have left it a little more white in the center. That's all right. Okay, so that's going to be very pretty, I think. I hope. Yes, I like it. I like it. And remember, guys, if it's hard for you to see on screen or you're not getting like the contrast and stuff, I always post high quality photos both on Facebook and here on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, in the on the community tab. So let's do this one with Turquoise Sea. And I'm going to just save that green for the tiniest flower. Okay, so we'll do some Turquoise Sea. Maybe I'll do this one from around the outside. Just see how that looks. Because we can do each one differently. They don't all have to be exactly the same. So we can leave some white space. We can also go in and add a little bit of Tranquil Teal. And I think I'll do that right around the outside. So see, I'm just working that from the bottom. I'm not really going in very far. So we're going to have a little more white space on that one. And let me grab Tranquil Teal. Great color. One of my faves. And I do have a little brush for this. You can use the same brush. I just happen to have some small brushes, so I tend to use the smaller ones with the darker colors. This way I can control a little bit more how, you know, far up that goes. We'll do some of this shading on the butterflies too. Okay, let's see what that one looks like. Ooh, that's very vibrant. And then for the last one here, we'll pop this part of the stencil right over the flower. These are pretty symmetrical flowers, so you won't have a hard time lining them up if you haven't tried yours yet. And then we'll make this one green. And we'll just use Lucky Clover. A little piece of Bounty paper towel on that right there. So what I'm going to do with this one, just so that it doesn't blend in too much with the leaves, I'm going to add a little turquoise around the edges on this one. I'll just grab whatever's left on this Tranquil Teal brush and I'll blend some of that in around the edges just to change the color a little bit. There we go. That'll make it a little different because here's Lucky Clover and you can see that has a little bit more of a bluish glow to it. So now we have our 3 flowers all done. And now it's time to work on these butterflies. So the butterflies, it's a really neat stencil. If you haven't tried this one yet or you haven't seen it yet, the butterflies can be done in 3 different tones because there are 3 different layers here of the butterfly. So whatever you want to be the most, I kind of like this for that. I feel like this kind of really me see. Do I have the stencil upside down? Here we go. Not that it matters, but you know. All right, so we'll get this in place. You kind of know it's in place when all the little black lines disappear. And then we're going to make our pop-up card. I'm really excited about this card today. So I'm going to do Turquoise Sea for this because I would like that to be my boldest color. And I'm going to have my darkest coming in from the outside and have it get lighter as it goes toward the inside. So I'll use my big brush first with Turquoise Sea. And you know what? I don't want to go over here. So I'm going to put a Post-it note right there. And I'm going to put a Post-it note right down here. This way, I'm not going to bother my two other butterflies and my butterfly and my word. Let's fix that. I think probably if you don't tape down your white piece that you're working on, it could shift like mine did. So it's worth taking the minute. I'm going to tape this down here, and then I'm going to fix this. It's actually easier to position the stencil than it is to position the paper. I'm just using some old purple tape I found in my collection. There we go. All right. That, and here's a little piece that I'll put right over here. So again, we'll start with the Turquoise Sea. And I'm going to come in from the outsides. Come in this way. And get light in the center. Ooh, I like this so far. I know it's a shocker that I want turquoise to be the main color, right? It is a favorite of mine. That's for sure. Okay. It is really fun to ink blend the color on instead of coloring it because it makes you look like you know how to blend color. I mean, if I tried to do this with colored pencils and Gamsol or Copic markers, it would take a lot longer than this. So now I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of that Tranquil Teal. Let me get another ink stand so I don't have to keep opening and closing the ink pad. So I'm using some Tranquil Teal here. And then I'm just going to bring that in just along the edge here. Same with over here. You don't need separate layers to create more color depth. You can just use separate colors like that to create that color depth. So I'm going to pull this off, and we are going to do this to the other butterflies. So they're all, isn't that beautiful? Oh, that's so pretty. Can you see that, Tom? All that color blending?
Yes.
Ooh, I love it. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing over here with this one. Just block that off there. And now I'm going to take a paper towel. I'm just going to wipe this color off of here. It's okay if a little gets into the butterfly because it's turquoise, but I don't want to get too much Turquoise Sea in there. I want to make sure that my light color is still light. So of course you could do these more like monarchs if you want, with the yellows and the oranges, which would be very beautiful for fall. But I felt like this color combination today, and that's the beauty of all of this, making your own ephemera pieces like this to add to your cards, is that you can color them exactly the way you want, whatever you're in the mood for. All right, now we'll go back with a little bit of that Tranquil Teal, and we'll hit the edges with that to really deepen that up. And it's really these darker colors, getting those in there, that really makes the object glow, right? Because when you get these darker colors coming in around the edges, it just really makes the white in the center pop. Okay, so that is layer 1 for these butterflies. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we have this last little guy to do who didn't make it onto the rest of the, team. That here, and I don't have to worry about blocking anything off because I'm really not going to ruin anything. So once again, taking that paper towel and just rubbing off that excess teal. And then Turquoise Sea. So am I the only one that feels like June and July were like 5 minutes long and it's August already? What the heck? Where did the summer go? It's still summer though. It's still beautiful out, but I mean, that went way too fast. I hope I'm not the only one. Okay, now a little teal, a little tranquil teal into the ends, the edges. It's going to be a very glowy butterfly. 5 minutes, right? Yeah. It's dumb. What I'd like to understand is, why can't June and July talk to February and March about how to prolong the agony? Would be great. Okay, so we have our first layer of glowing butterflies. So I'm going to put these colors away, and then we're going to go to our next layer, which is going to be that medium lilac. And then we'll do the medium lilac here in the center as well. Okay. That'll look good. So I'll start with medium lilac, and then I'm going to add the dark lilac just around the edges a little bit. So we'll go in here with a lighter hand. Yeah, if you guys haven't tried this bundle yet, I hope that you've enjoyed all of the inspiration, because I've been doing so many cards with it. I can't stop. Okay, now I'm going to go with dark lilac. A little bit of that, and we'll do the same thing just along the edges to create the glow. And these are going to get die cut, so be good. There's that glow. Let's do the last two. Start up here. And again, I'm going to use that same paper towel and just wipe that dark lilac off the edges so I can stay consistent. Now, if you really want to be jazzy, you could start with the lightest lilac, the light one, and then you could go to the medium and then the dark. But honestly, I think the 2-color blend here is sufficient to create that glow. Here's the darker. I'll go in here just a little bit. Okay. Very glowy. And then the final one for this layer down here. Yeah, I was on Facebook earlier, and a bunch of my friends were showing their kids going off to school already, and I think it's just too soon. Personally, can you do this? I missed that comment. Can you do the same technique just using the stencil? Absolutely, you can. And in the stamp set, there is a body, a butterfly body that you can stamp on if you just do the wings without all the black parts. So it creates a very different looking butterfly. It's much, well, it's just a different look. It's very pretty. But yes, you absolutely can. You don't have to stamp it first. I think that's what the question was. And then we're going to get to our green. Okay, so now we're going to add the green. And the only reason why I'm adding green is because I'm trying to tie in all of the foliage that's going to be on the front of the card. And I do think green is really pretty. I'm going to wipe this away though. I don't want to get green on my butterflies here. Okay, I mean purple on this part. So we'll just put that there for now. So we're going to do the Lucky Clover. And I mean, you could use maybe grass green if you wanted to intensify it around the edges, but let's just be a little light-handed with this. We'll just get it in along the edge. We'll leave a little more white space. These are so tiny and delicate, these particular images. You can just kind of create the ink blend where it's a little darker on the one side and a little lighter. And I think that's enough. They're so tiny that I don't know that you need the second color. Ooh, I like that. I like when you add the green. These colors, I don't know if you can see that, but these colors look so pretty together. Our next kit is coming out this month. We don't have an exact date set yet because we're still waiting for some of the materials to get here. But as soon as they come, we will let you know. But yeah, next one's coming. Usually later in the month, you know, toward like the third week. All right. The butterflies are still a really nice fall image. That's when I really see all the butterflies, at least around here. I see most of the butterflies coming up in August, September. I remember Rena and I were teaching a class, I think it was in Iowa. I want to say it was in Iowa. And there was like a butterfly migration and they were everywhere. And I think it was in September. Absolutely beautiful. So butterflies are real big in the fall. So you can use a bundle like this all through the fall. And of course, butterflies in general for me, I love using butterflies for sympathy cards. I really feel like that's, I don't know. There's something about a butterfly that just feels very like renewed. Well, I'll tell you a story, and I don't know if I've told you this story before. And at my age, you're gonna have to forgive me if you've heard it before. But when my dad passed away, his wishes were to be cremated. And I know cremation, most people want to be cremated these days, and I get it, you know, probably want the same thing. I don't know. But at the time, when you have to make those decisions, it feels a lot different than when you're just talking about it at the kitchen table. Like, yeah, I want to be cremated. But then all of a sudden, when you have to make the decision to do that, you're like, well, wait a minute. What does that mean? Like, what is that? So I remember I said to the funeral director who was asking me, you know, what what we wanted to do. I said, I don't know what it is, but I'm just so kind of freaked out about the idea of cremation. And I said, it's not going to hurt, is it? And I know that's really silly and really stupid, but at the time I was very emotional and I'm like, it's not going to hurt, right? And he said, let me put it to you in a different way, maybe in a way that might make sense. He said, imagine that your dad was a caterpillar. His whole life he was a caterpillar, living his life, doing fun caterpillar things. And he lived this great life as a caterpillar. And then when it was time for him to die, he curled up into a cocoon and he died. And then after he died, a butterfly flew out of the cocoon and went to heaven. He said, what we're cremating is the cocoon. And that made me feel so much better, thinking of this cocoon just laying there, you know, and this butterfly just flew to heaven, and my dad had a great life as a caterpillar. I don't know. Hey, Tom, can you move the comments? I can't see anything. Okay. So, you know, that story just made me feel very differently about butterflies, because now when I think of a butterfly, I don't think of an insect. I think about heaven, and it makes me feel good. So, all right, so I'm going to cut these butterflies out now. Wish me the best. I am going to use some tape, those purple tapes that I just peeled off. So we're going to cut these out, and these 3 butterflies are going to go inside our card. Now, if you don't want to be as aggressive as I'm being with the inside of the card, you can just do 1. Yeah, that story helped me a lot too. I hope somebody out there, is feeling that story helped them. And I believe I told it before, but it was probably years ago that I told it. I mean, I've been doing lives for so long that sometimes these stories, it's just appropriate to come back around again. Okay, so I know this takes a little bit of a moment. Here's 2, and then we'll do 1 more butterfly, and then I'll cut out these flowers quickly, and we will be ready to start the pop-up art, which is so fun. This, I'm telling you guys, this is so easy. I have to trim this down. It's not going to fit in my paper cutter. There we go. I can't help when I see a butterfly too. I can't help but think of, you know, it's flying around and it's doing its thing around all the flowers and everything. And it's, I don't know. I see them and I think, wow, I wonder how hard their life was when they were a caterpillar, you know, like they were just crawling around and trying to make it. And all of a sudden they have wings. I mean, how beautiful is that? Like, how cool is that to just be able to change? All right, look at those beautiful glowy butterflies. Aren't they so pretty? Now we're going to do the flowers. This is the old purple tape that used to stick a little bit more. Now they have the pixie tape, which is the perfect tape. But I'm going to use this because it's here and I don't want to waste it, and I might as well just do them all while I have this tape right here. So I'll take that down. You can see I'm not taping right onto the flower itself. I'm just taping onto the die and then onto the paper to kind of secure it. See if we can do more than one to speed up the process a little bit. Sometimes I forget and I stamp them too close together, and then the dies can't fit. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, we have a lot of people here. A lot coming in from YouTube, but also a lot coming in from Facebook and Twitch. I'm sorry to hear that about your sister. But yes, my mother loved butterflies too. We've spent some time at those butterfly exhibits too. I love those where they land on you and I guess they're just not afraid. Some of them are so big too. Oh, thanks, Donna. I'm glad you like the lives. All right, so we have all of our pretty little flowers, and then we've got our butterflies. Now, while I have my die cutting machine out, I'm going to cut two more things, maybe a couple more things. The first thing I'm going to cut out is this You Give Me Butterflies, because that's going to go inside the card, and we might want to pop it up. If we decide not to pop it up, we can do something different. Where's the die for that? Here it is. You Give Me Butterflies. That die looked so much smaller than the greeting. And then I'm going to cut out a single stitched and double stitched oval as a little grounding panel for the front of my card where I can lay all of these flowers. And actually, let me look over here for a second, because I think I might have one all ready to go. Oh, did I use that though? Oh, I think I did. Let me check over here, because then we won't have to cut those. I've got a drawer full of things. You're going to laugh, but when I have nothing to do and I'm not sure what to do, I cut tons of things out. So here's a bunch of ovals. And I think that will work for the ovals.
Question, any more bundles or kits for foiling? Maybe Christmas?
Maybe. I can't give away too much because we have some really fun stuff planned for Christmas. So I can't give away too much. But I will say a big yes to some foiling. Yes. All right, now I have a piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to cut out a Master Layouts 2 using the stitched Master Layouts 2 die and then a black one. Oh, I won't forget to remove that. Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that. Ruth knows me well, that I have thrown dies away. I will remove that flower die. I see it from where I'm sitting right now, exactly what you're talking about. So I will not throw that away. And then I need a black panel. Find a black piece. And if I don't have a black piece, I think I cut them all up for Rena and Brian, all my little black extra pieces. So here's a black piece that I can use. And I'm going to cut this plain die from Master Layouts 2 so that we've got a backing. And then I am going to emboss this. And then we can put the die cutting machine away. I don't know what I got all over that, but I am glad that that's not going to show. I got some goobery stuff all over it here, probably from my plates. They're so filthy. Now I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. Woo, this is dirty. Just put it on my pants. I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine with the Swiss dot folder. I love this one. It just blends into the background so nicely. But if you don't have this one, you can use any embossing folder, or you can just kind of do some score lines if you want. You could also do some wood graining or any background technique just to create a little bit of busyness on the background. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to send this through. I hope I did this the right way. Otherwise, it's going to be recessed. We'll see if I didn't position it the right way. Oh, I think I did. Whew. Okay. Because you can't just flip it around with the stitches, because the stitches definitely have a right and a wrong way. Okay. So you guys can see that, right? We can finally put this die cutting machine away. All right, now we're going to assemble the outside of the card, and then we're going to make our little pop-up element. So we'll start by adhering these two panels together. That is quite a deep emboss. So if you don't like it embossed quite so deeply, all you have to do is use a clear plate instead and just use a couple pieces of cardstock as a shim, and you'll get a softer emboss. This is a very deep emboss. And then for my card base, I definitely want to use a color. And I pre-chose, where did it go? Yeah, it didn't. Did I hide it somewhere? Oh, here we go. I pre-chose Turquoise Sea because I really feel like all these elements are going to look really pretty up against this Turquoise Sea. And the darker color will really make the butterfly on the inside, the glowy stuff, pop. I think white is just too plain. Here, Ruth, I want to show you. I'm taking this die off of here right now. I'm putting it away before I throw this away. Okay. Oh, here's my scored one. I already scored one, so there we go. Now I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so we can kind of do all this stuff together. So this is going to go onto my card like this. Right in the center. And then we're going to add the greeting onto this oval. So I said I was going to use the greeting "Hello, love" on the outside. And then inside I was going to say, "You give me butterflies." So that might be a really cute card for a significant other. But you could change these greetings up completely. You don't have to do this kind of cutesy card. This could be a beautiful sympathy card. It could be a thinking of you card. You can use greetings from other stamp sets. This is, this is me just kind of being playful here. So I'm taping this down to my Misty, and then I am going to use the greeting "Hello, love" right down there. So I want to stamp this right onto my oval. And for those of you who celebrate Valentine's Day, you could do this one in all pinks and purples and reds, and this would be a really cute Valentine's Day card. "Hello, love, you give me butterflies," right? It's playful. Okay. So where's my big black ink pad? Here it is. And I know some of you out there even sell cards. So, if you make cards for people to buy for Valentine's Day, it's a good one. There we go. So I've got my "Hello, love" in there. And yeah, we're going to get to the word of the day in just a minute. Put this back. Now, we are going to adhere this directly, to make sure I don't have any black on my fingers, directly onto the card, and then we'll pop up the flowers a little bit. Because we're doing the front first, and then we're going to get to the pop-up element. And this feels like one of those TikToks where they tell you they're going to do something, and then it takes the whole TikTok and then they never do it. But I promise I'm going to do it. So and if you wanted, you could always do just a butterfly on the front, which would be absolutely beautiful. And then have the butterflies popping up on the inside. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But we're going to do it this way because I already committed to this as the plan. Plus, these are so cute too. And it'll create a little bit of interest. Now, I cut some of these out, and I think these might be fun in here. In fact, I'm going to get my little scissors, and I'm going to trim this one down. I don't need the whole thing. Sometimes with smaller areas, I'll just trim the bottoms of the flowers off. And you can keep those and use them for something else. But I just want a little something in here. I don't want it to go too far out. And maybe I'll do this over here like that. And I have these two little green leaves that I cut out. All this foliage is from two die sets. It's from the Foliage Fillers and from, ooh, I'm trying to think what the name of it is. It's the floral one, the Fresh Flowers, I think. I'll link everything so that you'll be, I mean, I'll, you know, post everything and where it's all from. Just put a little stick in there. I love that. Sorry, that was my phone ringing. I don't know who that was. All right, so I'm going to start kind of putting this together. I'm not even sure if I like all of this. I might just do a little less, like a little greenery there, something coming up there, just like that. I think that might be enough. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Let's get this greenery down because I want to get to the pop-up part. The pop-up part is super easy. So we'll get this in here. I like to do the greenery first, so I kind of know where it is. I'm going to put that down there like that. And then we'll tape this one down flat under there like this. And then we can put that one on top, and then we'll pop this little one up. We'll get this over here, and then we'll pop this one up with a foam square. I think one big foam square will do it. Okay, just like that. All right, so there's the front of the card. Now inside, we want the butterflies to pop up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a piece of this Tranquil Teal because we want it to kind of be hidden when it pops up. The element that we're going to create to pop up the butterflies, we want it to blend in. So some people use white, some people use clear acetate, which you definitely can use. But I'm going to use this. So first I'm going to cut this to 4 1/4 inches just to make it a quarter sheet so I can use it for something else. And then I'm going to cut this down to 1/2 inch. So I'm going from 5 1/2 inches to 5 inches, and I'm going to cut 1/2 inch strip, and then I'm going to cut another 1/2 inch strip. Okay. Then I still need this. I'm going to cut these down to 2 1/2 inches. So 2 1/2 inches. And this will be great for a strip sentiment greeting for something else because we can't throw away even a strip of cardstock. There we go. So now we have our 2 strips. Now we're going to score these on every 1/2 inch. So it's 2 1/2 inches across, right? So we're going to score it at 2 inches. We're going to score it at 1 1/2 inches. We're going to score it at 1 inch. And we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. But that's hard to do, so I'm going to flip it around and score it at the 2 inch mark here. But they're 1/2 inch increments. And then once we have those, we're going to make a little box like this. Okay? Just like that. We're going to do the second one exactly the same way. I'm trying to do this as I go. Idea. I think it's going to work. And this is why you're all here today, so it better work. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, the reason why I did 5 is because I need to overlap 2 to turn it into a box. Okay, now I'm going to use some of the Terrific tape for this because I want this to really stick. And this is very, very strong tape. It's easy to tear, but I am going to just put it on here like this, push it down, and then I'm just going to cut it right here along the edge. And then I'm going to make sure that doesn't go over the edge, and then I'm going to create that little box. And then I'm going to fold it in half to squish everything down. See? I've made a little cube. Probably could have done that a little bit better, so I'm going to pull it in just a little bit more. My goodness. I probably should. There we go. Okay. So there's my cube. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So Tom.
Yes.
Do you have a word of the day?
They think I'm asleep over here.
Oh, no, wake up.
No, I'm not. I watch too. But I guess I should be a little louder over here in the dead space.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a word of the day concept from Gina. She was sitting around this morning. Not that she sits around ever, but we were just in the office and this came to her like a lightning bolt. So using the word accident as a suffix. So like if you overdo the flaxseed in your diet.
Oh, flaxseed, yes.
You're going to have you could be at risk of having a flaxident. Right?
Yes, definitely.
And if you fall out of your lazy boy chair, trying to get up, that's a relaxident. A relaxident. And you had some other ones, didn't you?
I did.
Running off quite a few.
I don't even remember some of them.
Yeah. The bad day at the casino is a blackjackcident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very funny. I like how you elaborated on it.
Accident.
Well, I saw the word snackcident. Somebody posted snackcident, like.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I thought that was a very funny word. And then I was like, yeah, but not if it's flaxseed. That's a flaxident. That's different. Okay. So now we've got to talk about this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to flatten these out. And then we're going to stick two of them together. Okay. So we're going to put a piece of this Terrific tape here, and then we're going to stick them together back here like this. Okay. So it's stuck together like that. Now, I'm going to get a different color paper because this teal looks very, I'm going to get a white piece. I definitely want you to be able to see this, or a lighter piece of cardstock here. So here's a piece of cardstock. So you can see what that looks like. You see that? This is what's going to pop your butterfly up. Okay? So we're going to get one butterfly. And we're going to turn it over, and we're going to put the bottom at the 2-inch mark here. Right there. And if you don't know what your 2-inch mark is, go ahead and like mark it with a Sharpie. Okay. And then we're going to put a score line in the back of this butterfly so that it folds. Okay. Like that. Okay. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to adhere it to the butterfly. Right? Remember, it's attached like that on the squares. And then you're going to fold it forward and make a pincher. And we're going to pinch the butterfly right there. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to take some terrific tape on both sides of this. And we don't want it going over the edge. So I'm going to trim it down so it's not over the edge on both sides.
Wow, that's pretty intricate.
This? Nah.
No?
It's easy. We're attached in the center, and then we're just taped right here.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Okay. So we're going to peel these off. These are our pinchers.
Must have been my ocular migraine that got in the way. Looked much more complicated than it was.
And now those are the pinchers right there. You see the tape on there. We're going to pinch those onto the butterfly. So we're going to stick the butterfly into the center, and then we're going to close and close. Okay, now it's stuck onto the butterfly. Now when we open the butterfly, now the butterfly has this, the flat thing is on the back. So you see what's happening here is we're going to open this up, and that's going to open the butterfly. So now we're going to put some terrific tape back here, and we're going to adhere that to the inside of the card right here.
So I have to answer a question real quick.
So we're putting tape here and here. Okay.
Okay. Heather asks, Tom, have you always been involved with the Gina K Designs business, or did you retire from a different career field to become a partner team member? Too personal of a question. Heck no. That's real quick. I was in the legal profession, and my Sicilian wife made me an offer I couldn't refuse to join the business.
That's very funny. Okay, so now I'm going to show this again. Now you've got the butterfly closed, and you've got terrific tape on one side and terrific tape on the other side. And now I'm going to peel this off, keeping everything folded. And now we're going to take the card, make sure it's the right way so the butterfly isn't upside down, and we're going to place this up against the fold of the card. And we're just going to lay it down and close the card.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? So easy. Two little squares. Okay, so now we've got those butterflies. Let's put the other butterflies in here like this. And then we can even pop this up, or we can have it coming off the side of the butterfly like this. We can do one butterfly down here, and we can do one butterfly up here, like they're flying. Okay. All right. Funny.
And you will be posting measurements for all these things, right?
Yes. Yes, I will do that. So we'll have one go this way up at the top. We'll have one go this way down at the bottom. And then we'll just attach this over here. Don't attach it in the center because it's going to fold. Just attach it to one side of the butterfly. And you could just use a little bit of tape for that. Like that. And now when you close the card up, you've got this cute little hello, love. And then when you open it up, that butterfly pops up You give me butterflies. Isn't that cute? I don't know what that is, but so that's my fun little pop-up card. And you can see by using the teal on the side for the little element there, it doesn't really interfere. It's not like you see a white thing sticking in the back. You barely notice it. And so we could add a few little gems in the front here. And then you could pop anything up. You could do this with hearts. You can do this with little animal stamps that you have. You can do this with the feathers. You can do whatever you want. Just all you need to do is make sure you score down the center one so that one pops up. Okay. And then you can write around it. You could even put a small little panel of white in here and in here if you wanted to write around it if you want. Okay, so I'm going to add a couple quick little metallic gems to the front. And then we are done. And Tom, somebody's going to get this card. And yes, if you've already won a card, I am behind a little bit. I plan on getting all of those out tomorrow. So if you haven't gotten a card that you won, it is coming, I promise. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't put gems on here. I don't know. I don't know where. By the way, if you've never seen me do this, I'm going to see if I can fill this bottle here. What do you think? Does it need gems? Yes to the gems? Okay, yes to the gems. We got to do the gems. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. You know what? I'll fill it later. I'll just work right from this. I'll fill the bottle after so that we can give this card away. I'm just going to put a dot on each one and tap that back down so it doesn't dry out. And I'll fill this later. All you do is, if you've never seen that before, you just take this and you squeeze it into here and you squeeze and it fills up this bottle. Somebody was asking how to get the glue down into the center of this. And I was like, no, that opens. So I wanted to make sure that if you weren't sure, because you hadn't purchased any fine tip bottles, that you know that they open. Okay, a couple of quick little gemmies. Ooh, how about these? We'll do these metallic sequins because these are so pretty and they definitely match.
Jana would like to know, is the dot tape runner permanent?
Yes, it is. It is. And it's acid free. So you can use it on your scrapbook pages too. There we go. Okay, so I used some Mermaid scale sequins there, and you can see they have that green-blue look, which works really nicely with the green and the turquoise. And they've got purple in them too, so it's kind of a cool mix. Okay, so Tom, who gets the pop-up?
Woo, boy. Okay. Let the drums roll. Let the drums roll.
I think I might add a couple gems in here too. Why
not? Okay, the winner of this beautiful butterfly card is Mary Ann Eli. Mary Ann.
Yay, Mary Ann. Congratulations. I'm adding a little trail of sequins down here.
Wow. You're giving away before it's finished.
I know. I know, but don't you think that's going to be cute? A little trail of sequins?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. This was so much fun. I'm gonna finish this before we say goodbye. So everybody just hang on because I'm in the mood for this. So we'll do a little sequin there.
Some exit music.
Tiny ones here. I have to play off of what's on the front. Let go. There we go. I feel like 5 would have been better. Maybe I'll add one more there. This is the exit music. couple little ones down here. And just because it's fun. Ooh, this one has a little more green. It's cool how they have like little trails going off of them. I love it. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to let that dry before I close it again, and then I will take some pictures of this so that you can see what it's doing. I might add one more sequin there as well. And yeah, there's the card. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun, and I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you enjoyed this little pop-up surprise. Super easy to do. 2 1/2-inch strips, score them on the 1/2 inch, and you'll be able to create that little pincher that will pop anything up. Well, I'll be back this weekend with another 5-minute card video, and then Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night, and we might be having a special guest. Now, not a special guest takeover like we did last Tuesday, but somebody that will be stamping with me. I'm working on that, and I know that you're going to love him if he's able to come. So I got to touch base with him. We talked about it. I thought we made the plan, but you know, I always have to double check. But in the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.